Hey, everybody. So before we get started with this interview, I just wanted to give a heads up that we had some technical difficulties in recording the interview, but still salvaged the majority of it. Because we lost some of the recording, though, I wanted to provide some background info on today's guest, Luthando Ndabambi, and the programs he runs, Bitcoin Ekasi and the Surfer Kids nonprofit. Luthando lives and works in a township in Mossel Bay, South Africa. A township is an underdeveloped area in which many Black and colored South Africans live due to racial segregation in the country. Luthando currently co manages the Surfer Kids nonprofit, which is a program that teaches kids in the township to surf um, in efforts to build their self confidence and self esteem. He also co manages the Bitcoin Ekasi program, which is linked to the Surfer Kids project. And this helps youth in the township learn about and acquire Bitcoin. The word Ekasi is slang for township. Luthando runs these programs with Herman Vivier, a name that is mentioned throughout this interview. Also, I reference a short film called Lekka Feeling, a Bitcoin Ekasi story. Lekka is spelled Lekker, and I've linked to the film in the description. Obviously, I'd love to have you listen to the entirety of the interview, but if you only have so much time, I highly recommend that you listen to the latter half of it. What Luthando shares about both surfing and Bitcoin, how they've changed him and how they've changed the lives of people in his community is truly inspiring and truly beautiful. And so without further ado, here is my interview with Luthando Ndabambi, the Bitcoin Ekasi, and the Surfer Kids nonprofit. Cool. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are here with Luthando N from Bitcoin Ekasi. Super excited to have Luthando here. I recently saw the documentary Lekka Feeling and saw some of the work that Luthando was doing. Plus, I've been following what he and Bitcoin Ekasi have been doing online on Twitter for a while. So, Luthando, thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. And please take a second to introduce yourself. Please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you're doing with Bitcoin Ekasi.
Okay. My name is Luthando Ndabambi. I'm original from Eastern Cape, back from in the eastern part of South Africa. But now basically I'm living in Mossel Bay, where I'm working for the Bitcoin Ekasi and the Safer Kids as well. So what are my duty I'm doing at the Bitcoin Ekasi? I'm onboarded the shops around the township, in the township that I'm living, because the guys they know me very well, because like it's a long time I'm staying in this township, so they know me very well. I did grow up here, and also I did do my education here in this little township, and then I went to high school, and then I went to college as well. So we have 11 shops, or we I did onboarded before we started this project, and it was not very easy to onboard the guys because they thought like Bitcoin is a scam, but it's not a scam. Like I did try to convince them, like showing them, doing for them some demonstration to buy a time on Bitrefill, and also like yeah, I showed them some our previous video. We go with the kids at Pick and Pay, and then also we do have a center here in this local township. We call it Bitcoin Center. Is where we buy like we have a professional teacher that is teaching the kids the basic of Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin, and then sometimes they give rewards the kids like Satoshis. They go to the local spaza shop to spend those sets. It's like we are trying to show everyone is living in this township. This way, what we are doing here, we try to help the kids, and also we try to uplift this township, and then we try to show them this we are doing like is real. We don't scam anyone because people like they thought like Bitcoin is a scam, but Bitcoin is not a scam. Bitcoin is like cash, and you can save for the future for kids so they can get better education. Okay, cheers.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the last question I just mentioned, I apologize to have you repeat yourself if just for, so the audience knows we're having slight technical difficulties. But what I was asking is, so you came to believe in Bitcoin as savings technology, and but my question was, so if that's oftentimes in the that's the case here in the States. People believe in it as a savings technology, but I don't see people using it to transact. So people try to save in it, but not necessarily for transaction purposes. Why did you feel that it was important to start onboarding shops and to create a circular economy, to create an economy where people accept Bitcoin and use it as a medium of exchange?
Oh, okay. The reason like Herman did ask me to try to onboard the shops because like we did get the donation before like maybe 2019. So the donation was in Bitcoin. So the COVID did hit our project, and then Herman like we didn't get like donations, and then we did close our volunteer project, the one we're doing like the guys they are coming to the project and then they pay in rands in dollars sometimes, you see. So like our salaries they were depend on that and also in donation in fiat, you see. And then like our project didn't get a lot of donation when the COVID like is starting. And then after the COVID, like Herman, who has decided to close the project, and then he say no, like we're gonna start something else now. We're gonna see if we can build this up. Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not gonna work. So like Herman did come to me and say, okay, I do have a monthly salary for you, like the money that it can cover your salary for a month, only for 1 month. So like Herman did come back to me and then he say, no, how about if we can start something to the township, like trying to go around looking for the shops. And then I went there to another guy because I didn't know about Bitcoin that much. And then I didn't know about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin that keeps scamming our people around the township. People they say, okay, we're using Bitcoin. But I didn't know even like you can buy in Bitcoin, you can save in Bitcoin. You see, so like a man did tell me about this technology, and then this technology was like the stuff like he was telling me, he was like he's talking like Chinese, like something like I didn't get it. Like I say, yo, Satoshi Nakamoto, who's that guy? Like I was shocked. Yeah, who's that guy? I don't know those people, but he was keeping like sending me articles, like articles. He was writing articles on Bitcoin Makers for Bitcoin Magazine, and then he sent me those articles. And then when I arrived at my house, I keep reading those articles. So I did understand. Okay, you can buy stuff in Bitcoin, you can save in Bitcoin. It just gave me a wallet like Bitcoin wallet, like Moon Wallet. We were using Moon Wallet the first time like we started this project. Then he sent me 100 rand, but sometimes I see that 100 rand, like it can went up, sometimes it can drop. Like I say, yeah, this money, like I feel like this is a good money, like, and then like and then he didn't afford to pay me. So he did use the money like the donations. Like he said, okay, what is Ekasi? Ekasi means like I was shocked, like why a man is asking me these words, like Ekasi means. And then he was there at the beach, me I was at the center. So like after he went up to the beach and then he go to the safe kit, he tell me like what exactly he is trying to do. Like he did organize me, another guy staying from Cape Town. There were two guys, like it was Joey. So like we did plan how are we when we going to start to go around to the township to try to onboard the shops to show the shops what exactly this thing is like is working. So we did go to the first shop and then the spare shop they were keeping like ignoring us. They say no no because they know Bitcoin is a scam. As soon like we mentioned that the word of Bitcoin, they thought no this is a scam. This guy is coming to scam me. He's working with two white peoples. They come to me with a scam. So like say yo, I know I can't manage to onboard the shop. I come back to him and say, hey, this guy they are refusing. And then they don't want us to onboard them. Like But I did find a first shop like no color shop. So that was the first shop. The guy is a South African, and his wife is a South African. So like that's the first shop I did try to onboard. And then the guy is a police guy. So like I did go to the guy, like I did tell him, man, hey, there's a guy that I did find to the township. Like I think he's gonna be interested to accept Bitcoin on this shop. He say, okay, let's have a meeting with the guy next week. Okay, I say, okay, I'm gonna let the guy know that we do want a meeting with him. So I did go to the another guy, Tanzania guy, and also he did say, okay, I'm gonna be on a meeting with you guys, no problem. Also, he's a shop owner, that guy, and then we went to the center, to the Ekasi center, the Sefaki center. So we did sit down and then talk about this. And the police guy was having a little bit of like knowledge what is Bitcoin exactly. And then they were chatting with the man. He said, no, 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 no problem. I can accept Bitcoin in my shop, no problem. I'm trying to help this community as well. So I'm gonna accept Bitcoin as a payment to my shop. So like Elman did starting to pay me in Bitcoin and another guys. I think what that was the reason like I onboarded the shop because he was want to pay us in Bitcoin. So we have to use those Bitcoin because we have needs. We have something like I we have needs and then we have to pay some bills, you see. And then I did okay, I'm gonna try to use this thing. And then I did use this thing and it did pay us in Bitcoin and then we keep buying on one shop at Qualos. But like we did keep buying. And the shop is becoming empty, and then the man is just sitting on the guy's phones, and then the wife is saying, "Okay, hey, our shop is becoming empty now. This guy they just coming, but I don't see he don't see money. You see, to go back to buy another stuff at the big wholesalers for the shops." So the wife is saying, no, 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 I don't want this thing. Let's stop using it. Let's stop using it. And then like I did call the guy, I did say to the guy, okay, bruh, let's try to exchange this Bitcoin to fiat. Then the guy, okay, say no, no problem about that. You can come anytime to my shop. And then we're gonna exchange my Bitcoin to fiat. So like he was using VAR that time, VAR exchanger, VARA. So I did exchange his Bitcoin to fiat, and then he went to throw up the cash in town. And then the guy, I did beat the guy in the road, and he said, "Yeah, Bitcoin is nice." He was eating meat that time, and then like he went to his shop, and then he showed the money. He went there, then put the money in the account. I said, "There's the money. You can go to shopping, do shopping." I did take out that money, and then next day I did go to the shop and then the wife say, no, no problem. Now you can use Bitcoin now. No problem. I did say that is the money. Now you can use it the way you want to use it. I did take one cool drink there and then he say, no, no, no. You can take another stuff and then come to pay it inside in front of the counter. No problem. And then till today the guys they are using Bitcoin and then they are happy.
So you were just speaking a little bit about how you onboarded the shops. People thought Bitcoin was a scam, as many people do have thought and still do think. So it's difficult to convince people, but you showed them, look, you can sell the Bitcoin for fiat currency if you want to, and you sort of established trust in this way. So how many shops are now part of Bitcoin Ekasi? And how many people in the township would you say use Bitcoin at this point?
Uh, we have 11 shops in this township that they are accepting Bitcoin. Uh, Most of the people they are using Bitcoin on those shops, like are the people that they are working for Bitcoin Ekasi. Some people will just send them Bitcoin like when we try to already bill them. So you can send a person like Bitcoin, like you can say, okay, let's go to the shops. Let's go to the shop to buy something. So you will see this is yeah, like something like real. And also like we have guys like they are living on those shacks. You see the shacks that they have different logos like Bitcoin Ekasi, voltage logo, and the shacks. You notice the checks. Yeah, yeah, those checks, like the guys like they're paying on those checks. We pay them like 60 rand every week. Like you can say like if the guys they are using Bitcoin like as payment on those shops, if the guys they are living in those shacks, maybe we have 12 shacks now. The guys they are 12, so we are 11. So I can say like 23 people they are they are using. Sorry. Yes, yes, yes. Many people like the when we are told the guys they are painting those shacks. When we go to the shack to paint the shacks, when the guy is passing there, also like he's living on those same shacks, but those the shacks like we already painted. Other people they ask us to go to their shacks as well to paint. You see, because they hear about other people. Oh, these guys they are paying them 60 rand a week. So everyone you want to experience that the money of Bitcoin because those guys like they are not earning like a lot of salaries. So they depend a lot on those sets we are sending them like every week because they can come up to the shops here on top to buy lunch for their work, something to cook for the supper. Like many people they are asking us, come, come, come. You can come to my site to my house to paint as well. I need this money. I need
Mm.
Bitcoin. So I think like
So you,
okay,
yeah. No, please continue. So just to clarify, so you're painting what the Bitcoin logo on the side of the shacks in the
yeah,
township, and then paying the people who own the shack the equivalent of 60 rand in Bitcoin.
yes, 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 yes,
Cool, very cool, very cool. Um, what? So I recently watched a documentary that was made about what you guys are doing there called "Leka Feeling: A Bitcoin Ekasi Story," um, and um, it's very clear, like I said, that you're the heart and soul of this movement. The kids obviously very much trust you. The shop owners trust you.
yes.
There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It can be a challenging role to play. So I'm curious, what are your concerns? What are your hopes? And what problems do you think Bitcoin really does fix for the people of that township? A lot of people in the Bitcoin community like to claim that Bitcoin fixes everything. I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think Bitcoin fixes everything. I think it fixes a lot of things, especially concerned with finances. But again, what are the challenges and sort of hopes that you have for the community?
Oh, okay. Like I can say in this township, like there is a lot of crime. I can say Bitcoin can fix crime. You see, because a lot of people like crime. Bitcoin can fix crime in this township. Also corruption. There's a lot of corruption as well in politics. So people like they said okay we're gonna build houses for people. So they don't record that the money like they did they made municipality give them to do those 20 houses. They're gonna eat it, they're gonna eat some money and then they're gonna do like something like they are not fancy for people. So Bitcoin he will can fix corruption as well, you see, and then also like for the kids, you're gonna help them to save their money as now they are younger to save. You can save it. They can save their set as well. Like because we are giving them like rewards every maybe second month. So those kids they can save their money like 20 rand. They can save 20 rand, small money. So yeah, Bitcoin will fix that as well. To give those kids like fiat is not truth now because people they just want money and then they they are not care about another another people. They're just doing their things, you see. So in this township, Bitcoin can change people's life. and then it can just reduce to reduce crime as well, because everyone you can have, like, if you can save in Bitcoin, like you would have money. You have money maybe like after 20 years. If you can put that money in 20 years, like around 20 years, you have money. You would be a millionaire. So like crime in this township, you can reduce. Bitcoin can reduce crime in this township.
Interesting. So you're saying that because people can save,
Yeah.
they won't be maybe in such a desperate financial situation where they have to resort to crime. You can. I never thought about that. That's really really interesting. Wow. Um, do you see? I know that you give this the kids an allowance. They have some money that they can then save. You said it's about 20 rand. Do you feel like you could almost see it in their face or in their expressions that they feel more hopeful as a result of that? Like now they have stake in something and something to sort of they have something to almost protect in a way. Like now they have an opportunity to invest in this new network. Do you see that in them, and does it change them? Does it actually change the kids that you're working with?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of changes in the kids. Like some of the parents, they can come to us. They say, "Hey, well, what you guys? What did you do with my kids?" Because it's not the same as the kids was. Because the kids sometimes are naughty, and then also like they make parents talk every time there's someone come to complain in their houses about their kids. Like you say, your kids did beat my kids, something like that. Those children, like they are changed different. Because also like I can feel if
Interesting.
Bitcoin like did change my life, how about those kids? They're gonna change their life as well. Because Bitcoin did change my
Yeah.
life as well. Ever since like in this position I'm with now, I was living on a shack where it's raining. Like I have to move beds at night, like because there's rain, it's getting inside the shacks. But my life now is really changed because I'm living on a proper house now. You see, and then I'm driving
Because
a
of
big truck.
Bitcoin.
Because of Bitcoin. If it was not Bitcoin, like I was drinking a lot. I was not okay. I was not thinking about like future. You see, but the Safer Kids
Yeah.
did play a role as well in my life. Like the Safer Kids, because I did start working with the Safer Kids. So Safer Kids did change my life. After like we I'm working for Bitcoin Ekasi, my life did change completely. And then the way I'm thinking, like I'm thinking different than before. I don't care
Could you
about
tell
parties.
us?
Yes.
Oh, that's. I was going to ask. Could you give an example? So you said you don't care about parties since you found Bitcoin. Can you explain
Yeah,
what that means?
I don't care about Bitcoin. I don't care about parties. Sorry, I don't care about parties.
Oh,
I don't care about like going out with friends. I I just focus on my girlfriend and my son. That's the people I did focus,
okay.
because I'm staying with them in the same house, and my family as well. Yeah, I did focus to my family as well. But I don't care about another thing like wasting my money. Always in my mind,
Yeah,
even, yeah, I always think about, okay, now if I go to the tavern, like to the club, I'm gonna eat a lot of money. I always have that in my mind. No, to drink alcohol is just to waste money. Everything like
yeah.
ancestors are like, I think about them like, okay, I'm wasting money on this. So I have to use my money like in something like it's gonna change my life a lot.
That's inspiring to hear. A lot of people talk about how, in a good way, yeah, Bitcoin often changes behavior. It does make us think about the future, saving for the
Yeah,
future, and I
yeah,
think it's inevitable that we become more hopeful. Even myself, I didn't grow up. Our schools didn't teach us a lot about what money is or how money
yeah,
works or how to save it. My parents were good parents; they were successful and stuff, but I still didn't learn a lot about the dynamics of money. But it wasn't until Bitcoin, I found it in my mid 30s, that I started to think the same way. Started feeling like I don't want to just go out and waste this money. I want to actually invest in it. And I think what a lot of people don't understand about Bitcoin is that it will change you. It will change you for the positive. It's not just because it's this magic internet money that anyone can send to each other,
yeah.
but it incentivizes long term thinking. So, do you think that long term, will Bitcoin, do you think, change the social situation, the social dynamics where in Bitcoin Ekasi, do you think it will become a place where there's far more wealth and there's different behavior in the people as a result of that over the course of the next maybe 5, 10, 20 years?
Yes, 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 yes. He will change that. He will change that a lot. Yeah, he will change that
Mm,
to people like you see now like people like now they show some of the shop owners they did save some Bitcoin. You see,
okay.
if they next year when they're having they will see that man like if I don't know when it's gonna happen, but like I don't like to give people like okay this is gonna happen like maybe if it did happen next year they in the
Yep.
having and then
Yep.
the shop owners they're gonna just go around the township they just say no this Bitcoin is nice you have to save your money then they're gonna have stories to tell people I did put like something like 10,000 in my own chain Bitcoin, and now I have maybe 20,000, maybe 25,000. That 10,000 did
Right.
change to 25,000. You see, and then people they're gonna just keep spreading the word, and then people they're gonna realize, okay, me also I have to put something on this. On this, let's just see, maybe 4 years, 5 years, maybe I'm gonna see that money is gonna change. You see, and then also like a lot of people they will change their mentality in this township because like the way they are
Int-
thinking about what you are doing now, they are thinking this is a scam, and then they like to fall to quick money. You see, that's why like our people they are the guys like they are coming here. They say, okay, we are this company. You want like we invest money for people, and then they are using the name Bitcoin, and then they scam people after that. So also like they are
mm,
thinking, like we are doing the same thing like those people they were doing to them, but we're just doing
mm,
something different. We're just doing something different.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So okay. The other you were talking about, you sort of have to wait 4 or 5 years and maybe the money will be doubled or something like that, but
Yes.
in the short term Bitcoin is still fairly volatile, and it's difficult sometimes to be the person that teaches other people about this because you don't know whether the price is going to go up or down tomorrow. Maybe in 4 years you could say, look, if you hold it it'll be okay, but is do people struggle with the volatility of it there? And I'll put that in context. Like I recently spoke with someone from Ghana, and
Yes.
because the Ghanaian cedi goes up and down so much, it's so volatile.
Yes.
Bitcoin volatility is not as much when you measure it in Ghanaian cedi. So when you measure Bitcoin in rand, is it still a very, very volatile relationship or no?
Yeah, I can say like yeah, people like they are complaining about the volatility of Bitcoin because like
Okay.
even when we spend our sets on these local spaza shops, we have to
Yeah.
put we have if you buy something for 10 rand, you have to pay that in 12 rand. You have to put like extra because like they are scared about that price for volatility of Bitcoin. You
Oh,
see, on those up
okay.
and downs. So we have to pay them in extra. So I did go around again to explain to them, okay, if I pay you 10,000 sets, you're gonna receive 10,000 sets. You're not gonna receive like the sets they are the same. Don't look in rands, just look in sets. But still like
Mm,
shop owners like they don't understand. They don't want to understand that because as
yeah.
soon as I scan the QR code in their shop, if I pay 10 rand, they will say, no, I did receive 9 rand, but I charged you 10 rand. So you have to put extra. So even if you pay that 12 rand, they can get 11 rand. They're not going to explain about getting 11 rand, receiving 11 rand, because we did buy
Oh,
something for 10 rand, you see. And
got
also
it.
like
Got it.
some shop owners, like, yeah, they are like, they can see price of Bitcoin, it can go up and then it can go down. So we just explaining
Yep.
to him. Sometimes like we do rebrand the shops. If they did lose like a lot of money, like the price of gold did go down. Like a man did ask me to collect their QR codes, correct their LNURL, you see. So you can just refund them the money that they did use to their own chain and lighting wallets. So we
Okay.
just keep on doing that. But I do explain that as well, like to them. This thing is not something like gonna do like every time when the price of Bitcoin did drop.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
that was my biggest concern is that when people are new to this, the price volatility can make them quite frustrated or scared. And that's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a you yeah, I think if you've owned Bitcoin for a little while, you sort of forget about how much anxiety that can cause. So it's a difficult position to be the person teaching about it because if you've held Bitcoin for a few years, you understand the benefits. But
Mm.
if you're new, it's still a very difficult thing. But I think there's also, do you notice a difference with age of people? Like, are younger kids more okay with the volatility, whereas maybe older people, the shop owners, struggle with the volatility a little more? Obviously, younger people have more years in their life to wait for Bitcoin to mature, for the
Yeah.
value to increase. Maybe older people struggle more because they have to pay for their families' things, and there's other reasons that they need it. So, do you notice a difference in the reaction to the volatility depending on people's age?
Mhm. Like I can say like people like the shop owners, you see some of them they are too old. So I just trying to convince them that okay, don't mind about like people like they are always thinking about death. Say no, I'm gonna
Got you.
die. Yeah, I'm gonna die. I say to them, no, 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 don't think about dying. Like, yeah, you're gonna die, but think about your children. You must leave your children something like that they will never struggle in their life.
Mm,
Let's save in Bitcoin
mm,
and think about your kids, about the life of your kids. Maybe one
yep,
day, yeah, you're gonna die, but think about kids, about your child. They have to go to school, they have to go universities. So think
yep,
about them, and then you can just tell them. Like some of the shop, they do have hardware wallets. So I say to them, okay, look, you can give that girl this hardware wallet. Maybe you can go together. Where you bury that hard wallet, the kids have to see as well. Because one day if you die, no one's gonna know where did you put the hard wallet. So you have to go
yeah,
to with your kids and then tell the kids, okay, this thing I'm gonna put it here. But never happened to my life. You have to go there on that, and then there's money there. There's phrase, everything is there in that box. So you can just go there
yeah.
when there's money. Always tell the shop owners about that.
Oh, interesting. That's a really important point. Yeah, yeah. Understanding where people's wallets are is a huge
Mm.
it's a huge thing to worry, well, to think about when it comes to handing your money down.
Ah,
Um, yeah. Speaking, I want to switch gears a little bit. So, the Lecker Feeling movie, the short film, there was a fundraiser that sort of happened alongside this film coming out, getting published on YouTube this week, and I think the Bitcoin Ekasi movement had almost 2 Bitcoin donated to it, which is the equivalent of about 60,000 US dollars. I
yeah.
was curious. One, I assume people are excited. It seems like a good thing. And I was just curious as to what the plans are for the money. So what sorts of improvements do you want to make to the Surfer Kids project, or what other ideas do you have to sort of improve the facilities and the programs? What are people thinking there?
Yeah, yeah. Like now we are busy with the renovation. Yeah, we are renovation the Sefakis building now. We already
Okay,
starting about the renovation. But now we'll just go to buy like the stuff for the kitchen and the plumbing. Like we want to take everything out in that space of the safer kids, and then we just bring something new so that you will inspire the kids as well to stay in the project because they will see, okay,
cool.
things they are happening here, so I have to stay here, and then this thing is gonna change my life a lot. So also like the money is gonna help us the salaries of the coaches like they are level, so like it's gonna help us. It's already covered the next year salaries. Elman did mention that to me. So
Wow,
it will help us a lot, the donation and also the
that's
salaries.
great.
Yeah,
That's
because we
great.
we
Yes.
want to keep doing this. This is a beautiful thing I never see in my entire life. And I was always like, don't have hope. Like every time, like I say, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. And then now, there's nothing like I can't do it. Like I can do anything I want. Like I can do everything. That's what like I thought about Bitcoin Ekasi.
That's amazing to hear. Super inspiring. Yeah, that's powerful. I want to just quickly for the audience have you explain a little bit about what the Surfer Kids project is, and also why do you think surfing is so instrumental to the kids feeling good about themselves? Why do you think surfing is such a big part of the project?
Surfing like is not like a easy skill that you can learn. Surfing is difficult.
Yeah.
If you can learn surfing, you can learn everything in this world because it's not easy to surf. It's not easy to learn to
Yeah.
surf. I say like surfing is a tool like to empower the kids, you see.
Okay.
And I did see that to myself before. Like I started working for the surfer kids, I was not surfing. I was not able to surf. I was just doing a lifeguard every season, like helping people that are drowning in the ocean. I was working in the ocean as a squad
Okay.
leader for 10 years. So in 2019, I did go to the Safer Kids. Herman did employ me work for the Safer Kids. And then as I started surfing, like, yeah, like I did learn surfing at the age of like, at the old age. And then I did see that, okay, learning to surf, like I did able to do even my driver's license. In the first year, I working for the Safer Kids, like it did teach me like
Um.
I can do anything I want in life. And then
Yeah.
I didn't know about doing admin work like writing emails and how to use a laptop. Like many things like Herman did give me like teaching me how to write newsletters. Today I can write newsletters, I can write emails to the people all over the world. They are donating to the Safer Kids, but they are donating in purple or also in fiat, like in rands. Yeah, they are donating in rands. So I write email every time like they are sending us donation. I keep writing them email. I did get lot of skill in this project because like of surfing, of knowing to surf, and that is
Interesting.
gonna change the life of the kids as well. Like it did change my and the way I'm thinking. Like it's because of surfing as well. The thinking like the way I'm thinking now. Also, surfing did play the part on my mind and Bitcoin as well.
Interesting.
Surfing and Bitcoin, they are the same thing. It's not easy to understand Bitcoin. It's not easy. You have to read.
It's not
Because
easy.
it's surfing,
Yeah.
it's not easy as well. Surfing to learn to surf.
Yeah.
So those
Yep.
things they are combined each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think I used to surf as well, and it's very difficult. And I
Yeah.
remember the first two years I think it took me to really try to understand Bitcoin, and it was difficult. And I tell people, a lot of people when I explain it to them, they're like, I don't have time for this, blah blah blah.
Ah,
Yeah, it is difficult, but I think that there's a lot of power in when we can do difficult things, and like you said, it's either if it's understanding Bitcoin and using it, surfing, it becomes, in my opinion, a catalyst, which means like it creates something inside of us that gives us the power to do other things in life,
yes.
to, like you said, I Bitcoin made me start writing a newsletter about 2 or 3 years ago. I started trying to explain it to people. I started reaching out to people, and I think that I struggled with similar feelings, like you said, of feeling like a failure at this or feeling like a failure. But there is this feeling that I think once you start to really get it and understand the Bitcoin network and sort of the community that's there, on top of this idea that we're now saving in a better money, it becomes this empowering feeling, and
Mm,
it creates a world where hopefully more people will cooperate instead of compete against each other. So it's really interesting to hear you to say that, because I think it's really interesting for people who I think are a little bit older, not teenagers, not in their early 20s, who are still trying to improve their life, who are still trying to kind of make bigger changes in their life. So I appreciate you sharing that. It's harder, yeah, it's hard to make some of those changes, and you need catalysts like surfing or Bitcoin or something to
Mm.
sort of let you know that you can still take on challenges and still accomplish things. I think those things are super important. Do you have, so you said it's really important that the kids stay there, and that they believe that Bitcoin Ekasi and the Surfer Kids project is going to help them. In Leka feeling though, some of the kids there were interviewed, and they talked about how they're ashamed of South Africa, and they obviously there's a history of racial injustice, and there's a history of, yeah, it's a very deep, complex, terrible history in a lot of ways, especially for people who live in the township. Do you think that, do you worry that sometimes maybe if some of these kids are successful, they'll leave and therefore then not necessarily give back to the community? Or do you think that because of what's now happening, they're going to want to stay inevitably and contribute and build a better community there?
Yes, yes, the kids, like, I did see the time I was starting working for the Safa kids, there was three guys there at the Safa kids. They were too small that time. Like they were
Okay,
young boys. They were small boys. But today they are working for the Safa kids. They
cool.
are paying back for the Safa kids. They are
Cool.
working, they are helping but they are still on school, like in the high school. One of them is doing grade 10. Two guys are doing grade 9. So it's standard 7. Those kids they are working for us. And then those kids they
Okay.
are the lifeguards now. They are working for the lifeguards every season in December. So also those one they are still in the project. They will never leave us because they will see,
Okay.
I'm getting paid, yeah. And then we always like do some examples sometimes to say to them, oh, you see those guys, they are building a house there. Like many people there, they didn't go to school here. So those another guys, they are working in the construction. They are building houses. Some of them they are working in the roads. So we always do example to those kids. Say if you want to go to work like that guy, you have to listen to us. What we are saying to you, you have to listen to us. So lot of those kids they don't want to work hard like those guys. They want to work like us,
Mm,
like yeah, like only like you just keep learning new skills, something like that to see. But I know that some of them they will never make it. They just the few kids they will make it in life. Not all of the kids, not all of the our 40 kids, they will make it because we before we do have those problems like the kids they just go there and then they drop. They just are not interested anymore. But the
mm,
few of the kids they will make it. Not all of them not all of them they will make it because we have 40 kids in this
interest.
town. Yeah, we have 40. So in that
What
40, maybe five of the kids they will make it.
what 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 do you feel like is the difference? Why do you think some kids gravitate towards it and make it, as you put it? And why do you think some kids don't get to sort of fully experience what Bitcoin, or what the Surfer Kids project and Bitcoin Ekasi can do for them? Why? What do you think is the difference for some of them?
Oh, okay, like for like there's lot of influencers in this township, you see,
Yep.
because some of the kids they have friends that they are not saving, they are not going to the project, you see. Those kids they are not going to the project. They're gonna influence those kids. They're gonna teach those kids
Okay.
they are going to the project to smoke, and then to the girls, also the girls, the girlfriends. They're gonna want the girlfriends. They're gonna want to stay up to the township, not going somewhere else. And then they like I did experience that feeling because I did grow up in this township as a young boy. I did come here. I was 6 years old at the time. I was coming this township. I was very small. Yeah, I did go like I did involve to gangsters. Like like when you are kids, you want to experience everything.
Yep.
around this township. You will start smoking, start drinking, like everything. There's a lot of influencers in this township. That's why I say some of the kids they will never make it in the project. And then some of the kids are those ones they say, no, 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 no. I don't want to listen to you. I have to go this side. And then some of the parents, they are so strict in their kids. And then some of the parents, they are drinking every weekend, like they are drinking a lot, even during the week.
Yep.
So they don't have time for their kids. So some of the
Yep.
kids, that thing is gonna, they gonna, is gonna stress them. And then they will end up like leaving the project and then stay up to the township and then start getting stars, start robbing people around the township. Like I know because I know the guys I was growing up with. Some of them die in jail. Some of them they did die. Some of them they are like they change. Some of them they are staying in the street. Some of them there's a lot of things that are happening in this township because I did see that as time as I grow up, I did see okay, there's a lot of influencers here. So some people they don't want to see you taking the right direction. They want to see you fall. You see?
So you're saying, I mean, in your position, you sort of understand what you're doing is this really huge force for good, but there are still a lot of forces that could pull the kids in a bad direction. You're still
Yeah, in the
battling
bed.
a lot of force. Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
bed, because of some kids, they like to influence them to do the
Yeah.
wrong stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a tough position to be in. Obviously you're creating this force for good, but there's still a tremendous amount of challenges, things that Bitcoin doesn't necessarily fix at all. But that's a challenging situation. But it is good to hear that certain kids do have this. They do have the support that you're giving them and the hope that you're providing. And that's a great start, and hopefully it will spread. Do you think over time what you're doing gets much bigger? For example, how many people are currently involved in your program between the staff and the kids you work with? How many people are there total?
yeah. I see this. What you are doing now is becoming bigger
Okay.
because I was working for the Safer Kids alone. I was working alone in the Safer Kids. As
Oh, it's
a,
just you.
yeah, just me.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
just me.
Okay.
Yeah, just me.
Wow.
Me
Mhm.
and Herman, like we were together. Like
Yeah.
every time, like when we have a meeting, we just have a meeting with only me. I was working for the Safer Kids alone. So I was
Wow.
also having assistants. The guys like I did mention like first time, like I say, they are helping for this. They are paying back for the Safer Kids. Those guys they
Wow.
were helping me like as a like cleaning the sand and then coaching the kids in the ocean. Like, yeah, I was alone. The guy was employing full time job there. But today we are
Wow.
11. Today we are 11 guys now. We are 11 guys
Wow.
now. I see like the Safer Kid is growing now. And then it's gonna
That's
be big.
amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
Yeah. And in like a feeling, I remember seeing that you were hoping that maybe, I think it was you who mentioned it as well, that maybe some of these kids potentially go on and become either semi-pro or professional surfers. Is that an aspiration for some of the kids?
Yeah, I started inspiring some of the kids, like you see the guy was talking about that, say Medina. He was talking about about Medina. He say he sees the role
Okay.
model. Yeah, that guy is very like he is very he like to serve and then he want to see himself like becoming a pro one day. Yeah, some of the kids they are good in competition, but some of the kids they are not good in competition. They just go
Okay.
there to have fun, just surfing for fun. We are surfing for fun. But some of them they want to see themselves like they are surfing like in pros, like they are surfing in WSL Yeah, we do have those kids, but they not so many, not all of them. They want to be pros. They just do saving
Okay.
for fun. That's fun.
Okay.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And my last question about we talked a little bit about how Bitcoin and surfing changed your life, but for some of the kids, like for example, how long have some of these kids been in the program? And then what changes have you seen outside of them getting better than surfing or maybe saving some Bitcoin? What changes have you seen in their life beyond that?
Yeah, yeah. Like I can say, like I see the changes in those kids. The kids that they were there in the project for a long time. Maybe we
Yep.
have seven kids that they were in the project for a long time. Even
Wow.
the one like they were starting in 2016. Long, 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 long. But I
Yeah.
see the difference. And then the guy, the kids that we call them junior coaches, those guys. So another
Okay.
guy I'm doing with him painting. We paint those shacks there. And I see a lot of change with that guy because he
Okay.
doing some savings, a lot of savings in his
Good.
Bitcoin wallet than another two guys. He's the one here, lot of savings because he's thinking about his future. He's thinking
That's
about,
great.
yeah, his parents because their parents they don't have good jobs. They don't earn like big salaries. So the kids like that guy is like he's serious of saving
Okay.
Bitcoin for his future.
Does he feel yeah, that's so he feels sort of like maybe he's accomplishing something that no one in his family had ever accomplished before.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's a really powerful thing. That's great. Have you seen like increased academic success with the students that go there? Like, has there been other thing like has it impacted school? Has it impacted relationships in other ways for the children?
Yeah, like I can say like I'm gonna talk about junior coaches. Three guys. Uh one guy like yeah, like he loved the project a lot, and then he loved the schools a lot. Those three guys, they are really like go to school every day. Like
Okay.
they really care about school, and then they are really care about project because they know if okay, I'm going to school in the morning, so afternoon I will go to the project.
Okay.
So that project, he really changed my identity. He's taking me out to the street because if those kids they were not doing something like good, like in the safer case, if they are not good, or like if they are not good, something else, like they want to go in the safer case after afternoon, you see, to
Yeah.
learn skill. So
Yep.
I see something in those kids, in those guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. I actually, some of what you're saying reminds me. I lived in Namibia for a little while, right next to you guys in South Africa, and I worked for a program there. I actually lived with the head of the program. It's a program called Physically Active Youth Pay, and
Mm.
it was an after school program as well, and it did different physical activities with the students as well. And a lot of those students, they became they had some of the characteristics of the person you just described, that person that had a little bit of savings who's helping you paint. Like they became sort of beacons of hope, of light in their community, and it was all tied together. It was sort of the academics tied with like learning to having the physical activity outlet. And I think with what you're doing there, the bigger dimension is now adding in finances to that. It's adding in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And to me, that was one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation, because I grew, getting a little bit older, understanding how important it is to be financially empowered, to be able to make choices in your life instead of feeling desperate that your money is sort of not worth it's worth less and less every year, and you don't even really understand that it's just happening. But to know that you're holding on to something that will likely appreciate in the future, I think it's this final dimension to me that I think is going to be huge, especially for kids who learn to understand it in their teens. I mean, imagine you learned about Bitcoin in high school. How much different do you feel like your life would be, right? It's like
Yeah. It will change a
you'd be
lot of freedom. Yeah.
Totally. For me too. My life would be radically different if I had
Yeah.
understood these things. Yeah. So I think it's amazing that you're giving these kids that gift. I mean, it's really, you're doing such a tremendous thing for people. It brings tears to my eyes. It's such a beautiful thing that you're doing. And it was really beautiful to watch the documentary. To anyone who hasn't seen it, it's called Leka Feeling, a Bitcoin Ekasi story. It's about 15 minutes long. Luthando is basically the star of it. But anyway, I could go on about this for hours. I just want to thank you for what you're doing, because I think that who you are and what you're doing is going to have a tremendous impact, not just on the community that you work with, but on the world. I think there's a lot of eyes on what Bitcoin Ekasi is doing, on what's happening in your community, and I think you're going to be a model for a lot of people. So it's an inspiration to speak with you. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this. It means a lot to me. I'm very inspired by you, and I hope we can stay in touch. But and for other people to follow what you're doing, could you give them some information about where they could find you online and where they can follow the project?
Mm. And then I'm already like a role model to for some other kids, some older kids. I'm
Yeah.
already a role model because they want to be like me one day.
Yep.
They want to
Yep.
work like me.
Yeah, they're good. I'm positive that you'll have. You're already having that impact on a lot of people for sure. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the best place for people to find you if they want to learn more about what you're doing? Is Twitter the best place to find you, or what's the best place to find you online?
Twitter.
Okay. And what is your handle on Twitter?
Oh, okay. My handle on Twitter is Luthando SAPTC. And
So
also,
Luthando, yeah,
SAPTC. And
SA like
also,
South Africa, SABTC. Cool.
yeah, and also you can find me on Facebook,
Okay.
but I'm not active a lot on Facebook. You can find
Okay.
Luthando Ndabambi.
Okay. Cool. And
Yeah.
for Bitcoin Ekasi, where should people look? Is there a good website they should check out, or where can they get information about what's going on there?
Okay, they can just search bitcoin.com, bitcoinekasi.com,
Okay. Cool.
bitcoinekasi.com. And also, like, if you want to write an email to me, like, you can say Luthando at bitcoinekasi.com.
Cool. And to just so everyone knows for spelling purposes, it'll be obviously in this, but Luthando. So Luthando at Bitcoin Ekasi. Ekasi is EKASI.com.
Yes, yes.
Very cool. So yes, Luthando, thank you again for doing this. I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but I think the last two-thirds of this interview, we have a lot of good stuff here, so I think we should be okay. But yeah, it was really a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope to to maintain this relationship and to stay in touch.
Okay, cheers, Frank. We will stay in
Yeah,
touch anytime you need something.
yeah, I much appreciate it, and likewise. All right, thanks everybody for listening. Talk soon.